a steady, experienced hand to turn our fortunes around. If you have 2 buses and you have a driver's mate who has been an apprentice to a driver sitting in one of those buses, and you have an experienced driver who has driven you several times back and forth to your destination and back, which of those 2 buses will you sit in? And so the person himself says he's a driver's mate. He doesn't have a license yet. So he should work and get a license first. And then after he gets a license, he can come.
I am looking forward to a debate with John Mahama on the economy, on the country, on the governance. But I'm afraid that he's running away from a debate, isn't it? His people say he doesn't want to debate, but he doesn't want to debate because he knows I'll expose the emptiness of his policies. He says he has a 24-hour economy that he cannot explain. It's as empty as an empty barrel. He cannot explain it. None of his people can explain it. They say they will be exporting lions and elephants. But when we meet mano a mano, we can debate and the country will see where our policies lie. And that is where we should go. We should give the country an opportunity to listen to us.
And the other time I took time off to debunk that useless thing about 4 years and 8 years. If you follow the logic of what he says, oh, he has only 4 years, I have 8 years, then it means no president should get a second term. Because it says, if you get a second term and you have only 4 years, you will be accountable to the people. So then we should check the constitution and say every president should do 1 term and go away. Because your second term, you will be accountable. You see, there's no logic in what the person is saying. It means when they say 4 more for Nana, you knew that Nana was going to be unaccountable. And so just dismiss that and let's look forward. We have solutions for the problem and we have the experience to implement those solutions to rescue this country from the crisis in which it is. Where Ghana has reached, we need a steady, experienced hand to turn our fortunes around. If you have 2 buses and you have a driver's mate who has been an apprentice to a driver sitting in one of those buses, and you have an experienced driver who has driven you several times back and forth to your destination and back, which of those 2 buses will you sit in? And so the person himself says he's a driver's mate. He doesn't have a license yet. So he should work and get a license first. And then after he gets a license, he can come. There are 2 important programs that I'll talk about here. And one is because of the high unemployment in this particular constituency. The first one is the apprenticeship program. Because if young people have finished school and they don't have a job yet, then they should be acquiring a skill so that they can go into the world of work. And that's why we're talking about the National Apprenticeship Program. For the young people who have finished JHS and SHS and have not advanced into tertiary education, they need to get a skill to go into the world of work. A skill is always important for any person. Because whether, fortunately, the people who have caused this economic crisis do not even realize there's a crisis. Because when you hear them say they are the best government and that even improvement doesn't come, it shows that they don't even understand the situation in which Ghana is. Because if they understood the situation, we're still 5 months from an election. There are urgent measures that they can take to ameliorate the situation. You don't go saying, vote for me, and when I come, I will do this. You can do it now. You say you rationalize taxes. 5 months from an election, you can rationalize. There's enough time to rationalize taxes. All the promises you are making, you have enough time to start implementing them right now. And say, no, vote for me first, and then I'll come and do it. What they did in 2016, they can't do again. They say you can fool some of the people some of the time. You can fool all the people some of the time. But you can't fool all the people all the time. And so, Ghanaians are widely awake. We are wide awake, and this time we cannot take Ghanaians for a ride. Those false promises are not going to work. If you have anything to do for Ghanaians, you have enough time to do it now. You have 5 months. If you can't do it in 5 months, there's no guarantee that you can do it even if we give you 4 years or 8 years.